Welcome back, guys.
How's everyone?
Good.
Good. This is Wine and Realty 614.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Jenny, and we're so pleased you're here listening. Yes, cheers, everyone. What's the beverage of the day?
Prosecco. I've just been on a champagne kick.
Oh, champs.
Champs.
Gotta love that. Love some champs. Is that, what's your favorite one? Do you have a favorite?
No, I mean, not really. I just usually will go buy like 6 bottles and then I'll
Just drink them all.
because I give them for closing gifts too, but I'll find ones that I like and then I'll give those and I like a cool bottle.
You keep those and then give the bad ones too.
No,
I know how she works.
but because you can buy 6, you get 10% discount, and then but I buy ones that are cool bottles and then I try them, and then if I like them, I'll go buy 6 more.
Then you'll do that.
Yeah, and so I just like to always have something on hand.
I like Prosecco.
I do too.
I like champagne.
I love champagne.
I like Vouv currently, but it's really expensive.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's like $60 a bottle.
Oh.
So that one doesn't get purchased very often.
Yeah, I've never had
That's
it.
special occasions. Come to my house, you can have some. I have some in the fridge.
Yeah.
So today's topic is,
Multiple offers.
what's a multiple offer?
So when we are telling you as agents, when you are a first-time home buyer, not even a first-time home buyer, I think that because a lot of people aren't used to this market, even if they are, buying again, if they haven't bought in the last like 2 to 3 years, then I think that
It's a shock.
it's still kind of,
It's a shock to the system. So we are in what is a seller's market still currently. And what that means simply is that there is just not enough inventory for the amount of buyers available. So when that happens, you will have multiple people offering on the same home.
Yes.
And that seems to be the norm for the last forever.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, and it's always, I have even people coming into the open houses and they're like, when are the offers due?
Right.
And so we are really dealing with, a shortage of inventory. And so just everybody wants the same house, especially if it's, if it's only been on the market for 3 or 4 days, then you're probably going to have multiple offers.
I always, when I have a listing and an agent texts or calls and asks, do you have offers in yet? Part of me is like, why are you even asking that? Of course there's going to be. But then when I'm on the other side of it, I always ask. And then I'm like, you shouldn't be asking that. Just expect it. But I always come from an aspect of wanting to know, do I even have time to get to this 5 o'clock showing tonight? Is that going to be, it's a really interesting market. And I think for the most part of it is that people will do not necessarily a highest and best, but will give people a couple days to get in to a home. But as buyers, I think you definitely need to be prepared for, as soon as something hits, you're going to have to go.
Right.
So just don't plan really on having much of a life. Because for instance, I have some clients that can only go on Mondays to see homes. They had 7 they wanted to see, and then there were, I think, 3 left by the time they could go. It was crazy.
And that's just the way of our market right now. So it's something that you just kind of have to deal with and talk to your agent about and take in the advice that we give you.
Yes,
so
please.
There are special, things that you could do. Like some people, they're like, I don't want to pay more than asking. Well, then maybe this market's not right for you.
Well, so I've been covering a series of, it happens to be first-time homebuyer regrets percentages. It was a survey done, and most people felt, not most, a percentage of the first-time homebuyers felt that they paid too much for their home. But it kind of doesn't matter in this market. You are going to be writing offers for at least list price,
right?
If not more.
Right.
And that's just what's going to happen. I don't think you really can go into it with a regret about that. You just need to know that that's what happens.
Right. And it doesn't always have to be, $20,000 over. It could just end up being like $5,000 over.
Right.
And, people are offering to not do inspections as well as not ask for repairs. So that's another tactic that people are doing. And I think that if you're really set on doing inspections or, asking for repairs, then maybe take somebody handy with you to the showing to just kind of take a look at the house.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be just dependent on how
there's a net in the office.
How competitive the property is. And most properties are competitive. If you don't want to get into that situation, then I would say wait at least like a week to go see a property.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a property that has been on the market 7 days that someone wanted to see. And I think, there's, what do you suggest to people that would have a home sale contingency? Like they have to sell in order to buy the next house. How would you advise them to navigate that?
So I tell them to list their house, get it in contract through inspections, and then we can ask the buyers of their current home for an extended contract so we can find them a house. If they're looking for something very specific and it's going to be hard for them to buy, then I think that they need to look at other options of maybe renting for a couple months or moving in with a family member.
Right.
Or making it contingent upon them finding a house, but their house better be really desirable for buyers if they're going to make a contingent on them finding a house. Because, when I have, buyers looking at a home, like that they want to buy a house, but it's contingent on the sellers finding a house, I put in a timeline into the offers. So
for your buyers,
for my buyers, yeah. So I'll say that you have 30 days to find a house from contract acceptance, or something like that, and then we'll close in 30 days. So it'd be a 60-day close. So I think that everything is a little bit different. I think every situation is different, but that's how I usually advise.
Yeah, it's a lot because that's a pretty common scenario. There's not many people that are in a home that can just purchase the next home without having to sell, because it's a debt to income ratio thing most times, and a down payment issue. If it's a down payment issue, there are lenders that can do a bridge loan or a loan recast program where you would close on the house, and then once you close on the house that you have to sell, you can then reapply that money down, and it figures the loan, so to say.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely an option. I think the scary part is people are like, how am I going to find a house?
It's definitely a scary part.
So those are the things that you're going to have to do. I have gotten people into contract with multiple offers that have a home sale contingency. It's just utilizing those other items, offering a little bit more, really just having a conversation with the agent on, I think, goes kind of a long way too.
I think it helps dependent on where the home is too. Like you said, desirability. I mean,
in price range.
Right. If you've got in that affordable price point in a desirable school district, you're going to sell no problem. It really would be a no-brainer on the seller side if you've got the best offer, yet you have that home sale contingency.
Right.
As far as multiple offers, I mean, I think that this is, it's almost like any home, any buyer you're working with, this is going to be a factor. It just, and yet don't you find that some people still don't believe that that's what's going to happen?
They're like, they don't really have another offer. Well, yeah, they do.
They do.
And they're like, well, I'm going to stick with my offer. And it's like, okay, great. Like whatever you are comfortable doing.
I am happy.
And then when I say,
whatever.
when they, like when I say that they didn't get it, they're bummed out. And it's like, well, you have to know that we're not lying. Like we are on your side. Like we are only, like when I'm telling you, like maybe don't ask for a repair request, or, can you offer $2,000 over appraisal, or can you, offer to pay, $5,000 more. I'm not telling you this because I want you to spend more money. I'm telling you this so I can help you get the house.
It's unfortunate that as real estate agents, our reputation is such that, people don't believe that we really, we come across, for the most part, and especially I find with my first-time home buyers whose parents are in the mix, they really just don't want to believe that we're looking out for their best interest. Now, there are agents, obviously, that don't. They just want to make the sale. But I think you and I both come from a place that we genuinely
I care.
Are honest
I care about my
business
clients.
owners who care about our clients and will do what we can. And, with that being said, I think the biggest thing is that I will tell my people, I'm happy to write for whatever you want, but this is what I suggest you do should
Right.
You have to go in highest and best immediately. I'm sorry, there's just not negotiation happening right now.
Right. They're not, you will not get a counter. Typically, you will not get a counter offer.
Right.
Unless you're the highest and the best offer to begin with.
Yeah.
And then you'll get a counter offer, maybe changing like a date or inspection time or something to
or
that
earnest
extent.
money. They want earnest money.
Exactly.
If you are on the listing side, what would you suggest that is the best? I mean, what would be an ideal offer in a multiple? What would make you say this is a good offer?
Honestly, no inspections because people nickel and dime on inspections anymore. I think because they're paying, they are paying like a higher price for houses now. So I think they're almost expecting like a new house. Yes. So it's like, oh, well, that I can't believe that's broken. Well, it's not a new house, so
it's not a $500,000 new build.
Yeah, exactly.
And even then, you may still have stuff.
You still do. And so I think, not like offering a little bit over, offering to pay over appraisal value, and then not asking for repair requests. I mean, that's like the best offer that you can write. And I think that only sometimes that people give up one of the two things, and it's typically. My sellers came to me and they're like, well, what happens if it doesn't appraise? And I'm like, we can't go back and ask them to pay over appraised value because that's just saying we don't think it's worth this.
Right.
You pay more.
Right.
So I was like, let's deal with that when it comes down to it. If it doesn't appraise, like I do everything that I can to make it appraise by meeting the appraiser, sending them comps, list of updates.
Yeah, But even with that, it doesn't sometimes matter.
Yeah,
I had a listing, the appraiser was convinced that the seller was overpaying. And even though the comparables justified the price that we were in contract for, she had it in her mind that it was going to appraise for this value. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Yeah. We had more square footage than the one that she said was a direct comparable. And it didn't matter. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's definitely an interesting thing. And I think too, if an offer comes in with, they're going to do inspections, but not ask for remedies, I have found they're still coming for remedies. Yeah. It's not mattering at all.
Right. And then that way, at least you can say no, like, especially if you have a backup offer in place. When you have multiple offers and you're saying that you're not going to ask for remedies and you do ask for remedies, I think it's a lot easier for people to just void the contract.
Yeah, I think so too. Because typically they'll have someone else who really, really wanted that house too, and they've got a backup offer, and and that's ultimately what we had as well. So it's definitely still been an interesting market, and I think we're all still trying to just navigate through how to manage, how best to work for our clients.
With my recent listing, I got 4 or 5 offers, and some of the offers really weren't good.
Yeah.
I was really, kind of like, okay, well, it makes me feel better about when I write offers. Well, like earnest money. Earnest money is a free way to make your offer better. And I'm writing high dollar amounts in earnest money. And I've gotten a contract.
Do you think that makes a difference?
Yes, I do. I've gotten a contract because of that. And that's something that I always recommend.
Do you ever write offers where the seller can keep the earnest money?
Well,
probably not.
No,
that's not common. People do it.
What do they write in there?
I can show you later.
Oh, okay. I was just curious because the earnest money does technically go to the seller if they default.
But yeah, you can write it as it wouldn't go back to the buyer, that the seller could have it no matter what, like at closing.
Interesting.
That was really bubbly.
I didn't know that that was legal, I guess. But
okay. It's a conversation.
Yeah,
to have.
That
the ins and outs. Well, listen, we're happy to talk about everything, but we don't want to give away all the secrets.
Right.
You have to be a client to get all the secrets.
I'll be your agent and I'll tell you them.
But we may share with each other.
Yeah, I've won a lot of multiple offers. So
yeah. It's you have to have clients with the right mindset.
Exactly. I think that's key.
Willing to, I think, and sometimes with people, it does take a couple of offers as well.
Losses.
Before
they really listen to you, and then they can say to you, what do I need to do to get this one? Because this is it.
And sometimes we just write the best offers and it doesn't matter. I mean, there's going to be someone else. And do you find, does it help you if agents, I mean, do you tell other agents where it is, like what is happening, what the offer is, this is what you need to beat, can you do it?
No.
Not ever?
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. I mean, I guess, no, I think it's just highest and best for me. I think that's just the fairest.
You just put that out
I think
there.
that's the fairest way to do it for everybody.
Yeah. Well, it is an interesting conversation to have. So.
Yep. Yeah. So if you guys have questions about multiple offers, though, reach out to us and we'll talk about it.
Yes.
Talk about the market.
Yeah.
So.
All righty.
Look us up. Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Realty 614.
You can find us on Facebook,
Instagram,
YouTube,
and anywhere that you listen to podcasts.